Hello and welcome to a new video. We are today with Vanessa testing the Model 3 Highland Long Range, the 2024 model year. I'm gonna call it Highland. I know it's not the official name, but Tesla uses the name officially. I've seen a service request where it said Model 3 Highland, so just for you to know that. And the Polestar 2 Facelift long range dual motor, so they are pretty comparable spec. Yeah, performance, correct. They're pretty comparable, both about 80 kilowatt hours of battery, 75 usable in the Model 3, and what was it, 80 something in the Polestar, so almost comparable, pretty comparable power as well. And the Polestar has larger wheels than the Tesla, but should be about the same. So we just reset both trip meters. Let's head out and see over the day what they consume, and yeah, how far we can make it with them. And let's see what the day brings, because there's a lot happening. We're gonna pick up some friends and yeah, go around southern Germany and see what the cars can do on that. Alright, so we just picked up another friend for the test and quickly went to the NBB charging park here to charge both cars back up to 80%, so we do have comparable states of charge. We set the charge limit so they can click off by themselves. They didn't precondition, so we're not getting too good speeds, but it's good enough for the state of charge we're at. We're at 57 kilowatts with a Polestar, which it would probably just get, and we're at 65 kilowatts with the Tesla at 77 and 68% state of charge respectively right now. So both at about the speed that they could get. So yeah, the Polestar will be finished charging quicker, but yeah, it is what it is. Then it's just parked there and waiting, and as soon as both cars are done, we're gonna reset the trip meters again and then go for a longer drive on the highway, maybe also a mixed drive with some country B roads. And yeah, let's just see which car really is more efficient. From the design you would instantly say it's the Tesla, and also from knowing how the cars work and how efficient they are. But yeah, we'll see. The Tesla has smaller wheels than the Polestar. I already told you that before. And the Polestar is a performance model, the Tesla is the long range, but the power levels are pretty similar, so that's a good comparison. The Polestar to long range would have less power, I think, than the long range Model 3. So performance versus dual motor long range is probably a good comparison. So yeah, Polestar's got 2% to charge, Tesla's got 10%, so let's just do that and then we're gonna head out. Alright, so the Polestar kinda ignored its charge limit, why ever. The Tesla didn't, so we charge up to 80%, even though it should charge to 81, probably it is. Yeah, it is 81. Polestar is at 81 as well, so we can reset the trip meters and then just go cruise on the highway a bit, and maybe also some country roads and stuff. So let's see which car is more efficient. Let's try to keep the distances to the cars in front as far as possible, so we don't get any aero benefits from following each other. And we should also switch around the cars once or twice, so yeah, there's always someone leading, but not always the same car. And then we will see what the consumption say. Alright, we are about to head out. We're at 80% here. What does it predict with the rated range? 441 kilometers. So we could say like 400-ish maybe, if we're lucky. And let's see in the Polestar. I hope that it would turn the climate on when the door is open, but it doesn't. 81% and 260 kilometers. And I thought that would be rated range as well, but it might not be, because 200 kilometers at 80 and 400 something at 80 is kind of wild. The difference. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna turn that boy on. Come on. Okay. And then reset everything. I think Vanessa did that in the Tesla as well. I'm gonna ask her in a sec. And now we are heading out to about 80 kilometers for now, and then we can see what the range and percentage difference is, and see the consumption that the both cars have. It's mostly 120 kilometers, a bit of construction site and a bit of de-restricted zone, where I think we should go 140-ish, but I'm gonna check that up, and then yeah, we're gonna go. Okay, so 60 kilometers to go. 150 when de-restricted is what we agreed on, so that should work well. And yeah, let's see, we should be there at 1 p.m. at the latest, but yeah, that's faster than I thought it would be. Let's see if that's correct. But yeah, 81%. I enabled Apple CarPlay and Apple Maps here because I'm just not a friend of Android Automotive. I'm gonna come back to that later on. But yeah, it's just not my favorite. Let's go back here to the home screen. Of course, that's slow because I'm filming right now and then my iPhone doesn't know what to do. But yeah, let's go and head towards Weingarten. We're now in the restricted zone, and the de-restricted we were at around 150-ish, sometimes more 140 or below because of traffic. Now we're at around 120 because that's what's allowed here. I've got my distance set to 1 down from furthest apart in the adaptive cruise, so we don't have any wind impacts on our consumption, or any that we don't improve our results by going close to someone else like we have to do right now, because they are overtaking. As soon as they're out of the way, I'm gonna go back to the others. They're in front of the ID4 that's in front of us, and of course that guy is now coming over and braking in front of us, but it's also 100 here. So we're gonna slow down for the construction site that's coming up, and yeah, just going slowly, and yeah, we're down to 79%, and we already drove like 15 kilometers, so that's pretty good. Consumption of 18.4 right now, that's pretty much nothing, so yeah, let's leave it like that. That's pretty good. We just switched between autobahns, and we also switched around multiple times to like not get any aero benefits from following or leading the pack. Shouldn't be that much difference because I'm leaving a lot of distance to the leading car always, but just to keep that in mind. We're currently at a consumption of 16.1, which is crazy good for the Polestar. But we are about to leave the Autobahn and go for a decent bit of B-road, like 10 kilometers, and then maybe some more. But yeah, let's get over towards the exit right about. Oops, someone trying to come. Yeah, then go, boy. My God, people. All right, looking good. We're exiting the highway, and yeah, then about to pick up one more person. We swapped positions again. The Tesla is behind me, and we're going a bit more B roads because we got some time, because our friend is not ready yet. And so we are now heading towards that Bauhaus because there's also a supercharger and that's just a good place to turn around. And the consumption went down to 15.5, which is really not too bad. Let's get the speed up to 50 now. Let's see if it goes down further or if it stays around there. Still good consumptions for that kind of driving with some highways, some B roads. But I already heard the Tesla has a really good consumption of 11 point something, which would be crazy efficient. But I gotta check that in just a sec, maybe at the supercharger or so. And yeah, then we're gonna see. But I'm trying to keep distance to the car ahead. The Tesla doesn't seem to try that. They're always pretty close to me, but they were in front of me a lot of the time, so it shouldn't make a big difference. But yeah, just to have that on the record. Alright, quick turnaround pit stop. We're at 15.6 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Vanessa in the Tesla is at 11.6 or 11.8, so pretty low. We're not sure why that is, but as we can't be too sure about all of that, and we're not too sure about the battery sizes and stuff, we're gonna do a loop style test. So we're gonna go back to Rüdesheim and charge up there, and then we can see which car actually used more actual kilowatt hours in the same time on the same distance, when driving the same roads with the same style, switching around for no aero benefits. So yeah, we're gonna just see that later. Got us some healthy drink stuff, and I still don't like that cup holder here in the middle because now the armrest is all the way back and that's just not comfortable. I don't like that. Put the cup holders somewhere up here, put that over here or somewhere else. Nice 911 over there. And make that slimmer. So much wasted space, and you can't even use that space down there because that's closed. You got those little trays here and on the other side as well, but 90% of that space is just wasted and useless and uncomfortable. Why, Polestar? You built such a nice car and then this. I don't get it. Anyway, we're down to 67% state of charge from 68, so it was low 68 on arrival. Yeah, now we're moving to our friend to pick him up. Okay, we swapped cars. The Polestar is with the other two and we are in the Tesla, and I'm on the passenger seat, so that's pretty nice here. We are gonna navigate to Rüdesheim to the charger, but we're gonna go somewhere in the highway until we reach Rüdesheim with about 20%. We're at 66% now, so let's see how far we can go with that. But yeah, should be quite good. Let's see what consumptions we have then, and yeah, how far we can make it. As I just enabled the cooled seats here in the Tesla, I just remembered that I didn't tell you that the Polestar also has cooled seats. So I was kind of surprised when I saw that. I just thought, yeah, let's see if it randomly has it, and it actually has cooled seats, so that's pretty nice. Works quite well as well, I would say. Not too aggressive, but also you can feel some of that. I think it's a bit more aggressive here in the Tesla, and I like that, but it still felt pretty good. But I have to say I like the interior of the Tesla just so much more. I don't like the huge center console in the Polestar, the stupid cup holder in the armrest, which is always kinda in the way, and it's just so much more room in here, and you see so much better to where you're driving because the hood isn't that high and stuff. So yeah, just my personal preference. But both cars drive awesome, have so much power, and with the 2024 model year, I would almost say that this car is more comfortable than the Polestar, which it never was before. But I think the suspension is just a bit softer and maybe even better tuned. I'm not sure, but yeah. We're still driving a bit. We're currently about to arrive in Rudesheim with 50% state of charge. We want to continue driving until it says about 25 to 20% on arrival, so we can then pull in and charge back up to 80% for a comparison to how much energy we actually used. And for that and for efficiency reasons, I also just checked the motor types that the two cars have, or that the Polestar has, because I know what motors this car has. It has a asynchronous induction motor at the front and a synchronous permanent magnet motor in the rear, and the Polestar is actually the same. So while we're just cruising, going down the highway and not accelerating too hard, the cars should be in rear-wheel drive mode only and not use the front motor at all for efficiency reasons, because the induction motor can be kind of disabled without induction losses, or without losses, and the permanent magnet motor has losses when it's just rolling because of some magnetic field stuff that's pretty physical and not my expertise, but something like that. It's less efficient to just let the permanent magnet roll. So they both should be rear-wheel drive right now because we're just cruising down the highway. And we're down to 55% right now with a driven distance of trip B, of course you didn't put it here in the card, 129 kilometers, so 35% for 130 kilometers, and the Polestar should be maybe similar, maybe a bit above, I'm not sure. But the Polestar has 82 kilowatt hours gross and what was it, 78 usable, and this car has 78 gross and 75 usable. So we have about 3 kilowatt hours less usable in the Model 3. But I would guess that the Model 3 is more efficient than the Polestar from an aerodynamic standpoint. So yeah, I think in the end it should be about the same percentage usage of the battery, but with less used kilowatt hours in this car because it's more efficient. But we're gonna continue going, and then we'll see as soon as we're done charging. Got us some coffee, now back on the road to empty out the batteries to get it down to 20-ish%. So let's push it over the highway, but not too fast because we need, or we want, some representative consumptions. Good filming here. Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into that blue beauty there. All right. So the friends in the Polestar just told us that their estimated state of charge on arrival went down to 22%. We're at 31 on arrival. We're now at 41. But as we said, when it's going below 25, then we're about to turn around. We're gonna do that. We just changed both navigations to the charger itself, so the cars can precondition their battery to get the best charging performance that they can get, and to also simulate real road tripping behavior, because the car now knows we're gonna go charge it, so it needs a bit more power to get there, to get the battery warm. But you would do that on your real trip as well, so I think that's a good comparison test then. Also, both cars should do that, so that's fine. So yeah, we're gonna turn around in 4 kilometers. Internet actually at the moment is really bad, only Edge here, but yeah, looking good. Let's head back 50 kilometers to the charger and then we should be there with the Polestar at around 20% and us around 30% probably. So yeah, looking quite good. We're currently at a consumption of trip B 14.9, which is almost nothing. That's so crazy good for 200 kilometers. So yeah, we're gonna calculate the real consumption later as soon as we're there and charged back up. But yeah, looking good so far. All right, we just arrived at the Ruttersheim charging park again, and let's have a look at our trip meter. 14.9 for 240 kilometers, 36 kilowatt hours, and we're down to 30% from 81. Let's jump over and have a look in the Polestar for the trip computer. We're down to 22% state of charge, and let's see, can we get that to show? Yes, 236 kilometers here, so 4 kilometers less. Can't be, but there must be a measuring difference. And 19.3, so a lot higher. Let's see what we actually recharge in both of them to 80%. And why? Yeah, you gotta push here like a normal person. What the fuck? All right, let's see. Both should be ready to get full speed. I'm just gonna authorize the Tesla, and then we see what we can recharge here. It's preparing, 88%, and here we go. We're at 30%, and we are going up to, let's see, that's a 400 kilowatt charger, so it should go up to 600 amps or so, of 550. The car can take 700 something amps, so I guess we won't be seeing the full 250 kilowatts here. But let's see, 150-ish? 145? That can't be everything. 380 amps can't be everything. Are we still ramping up? I'm not sure. I don't know how Tesla handles faster charging on non-superchargers that can deliver more than 300 kilowatts on paper, or 190 for the car. The Polestar is at 170, 180. Nice. 190. Because that's getting 450 amps, just as we like it. Those are 500 amp cables, so there's still some room, so that's all the car wants. But for the Tesla, I'm not so sure if that's all the car wants or all the charger can deliver. Because of course, there's the EQB charging there. Might very well be that we can't get more than those 146 kilowatts because of the second charging car. Anyway, doesn't matter too much because we know that Tesla can charge fast. It's more about the kilowatt hours delivered. So let's go back up to 81%. The limit still stands. That's looking good. In the Polestar we need to have a look because the charging limit seems like it doesn't apply to DC charging, which kind of doesn't make any sense, but that's what happened before. I set the limit to 80% and it just continued charging. Because you can't, that limit is set to 80, but maybe it's just an AC limit? I don't know. Let's see. We're up to 53% and down to 104 kilowatts. That can't be charger limited now, but the car is at good temperature, so I really don't understand why we're charging so slow. My car with the LFP battery can hold the speeds above 100 kilowatts up until like 60 something percent. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. Yeah, well, 25 minutes until 81%. Doesn't matter too much to us because we are not caring about the speed too much anyway. So, but 20 kilowatts already delivered. That's also interesting to see here, the delivered kilowatts and the used kilowatts that the trip computer says. We're gonna compare them later, because of course now we also get some heat losses that we take more energy from the charger, and here as well, but the Polestar doesn't show the Polestar stopped charging. What the frick? Alright, we just unplugged. The LED was red and the charger faulted right after unplugging, but it fixed itself just a sec later. So everything's fine. We're just reauthorizing and restarting the charge. We also documented the charge energy. You've also seen it just before in the last clip. So all fine. We just have to do some math, but yeah, doesn't matter too much. The data is still correct, so no worries there. We got all of that figured. But yeah, somehow the Alpitronic had a bug or so and just stopped at 45% still charge. So that's kind of weird, but anyway, we're still getting our data. After replugging, it got stuck here on the screen. I'm just rebooting the station from the NBW app, because you can do that at, in the Find Help menu. You can just say, no, it doesn't start charging, no, it really doesn't, no, it really doesn't start charging, and then they are gonna reboot the charger. So should be rebooting in just a sec. Yep, here we go. Let's let that reboot, and then we try authorizing again, and then hopefully we can start charging the Polestar again. Reboot done, and we are charging again. First module, second module. Come on, give us a speed. Yeah, at least 115, better than nothing. And I think that's pretty normal at 46%. So, are we going up? Yeah, we're going up. 133, still okay. Still some percent to go to 81. The Tesla's further up. Whoops. Trying not to be run over. 72%, 9 more to go. 8. So, and we put in 34 kilowatt hours, 35 almost. So that's interesting, nice. The Polestar just folded again. I don't know what's going on with this charger, but we got the stats here. Let's maybe try the second. No, it's again in the same fault state. Freaking hell! Yeah. Okay, so we are at 80%. We should go up to 81 in just a sec. We already charged almost 41 kilowatt hours. And we're down to 50 kilowatts, but the charging speeds are not that representative anyway in this charging session for the Tesla. So let's see, 25 minutes from 30 to 80% is really not representative. That could go so much faster. But yeah, for capacity, that's still okay. Might be a little different with heat losses because we're charging slower, but also for longer time, so maybe it doesn't make that much of a difference. But come on, click off. Yeah. Module spinning down, and here we are. We're stopping to charge. Come on, give us the stats. And now the Ioniq 5 is spinning up to 230 kilowatts. That's interesting. So 41.5 kilowatt hours in 27 minutes. That's interesting because the car said trips 36 kilowatt hours. So we used about 5.5 kilowatt hours of thermal energy that we put into the car to cool the battery down for charging. We're just gonna unplug the car. You can unplug now. You can unplug and then I can move the car away. So we're unplugging. And then I'm moving the car just over there. Let's get there. And then we can get the Polestar to charge again, hopefully. Because that had some issues with the Alpitronic charger. and that's really weird, but I don't know what's going on. Let's lock this. Good. Moving the Polestar over and plugging it in again. Then we have to do some math later on. Okay, Polestar is authorized again. We're preparing. Looking good. And here we go. Charging again. Let's hope it doesn't break the charger this time. But it did charge properly here before, just this morning, so should be alright. But we really do have 150 split here, because the Ioniq 5 just jumped up to 200 something kilowatts when the Tesla finished, and now it's back down to 150. So I don't know what the logic behind that is, but maybe it's really limited to 300 kilowatts and thus splitting to 150 each as soon as two cars are connected. That might be kind of stupid, but that might be. So it's forcing fair share and not first priority or leftover power to who needs it. Weird. But we're getting 120, so that's all good. Just need to charge to about 81% as well. And then we can calculate the energy that we needed. Plus minus some losses because of replugging and having to wait, and power differences and temperature differences in the battery and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Should still work fine. Let's see if that Ioniq 6 can charge there on the charger that just faulted multiple times for the Polestar. Okay, so we just calculated the travel consumption of the Tesla, which means the consumption from driving and charging back up to the same state of charge. And that's 17.3, which is okay for the 240 kilometers that the car said that we traveled. We're gonna calculate it as well for the Polestar with the 236 kilometers that the Polestar counted, because then it's, I would say, the consumption that the car tells us. We're not exactly sure how long the distance really was, but we drove the exact same way with both cars, so we could calculate both with 240. I don't think it makes any difference at all. It's maybe 0.001 or so difference, so shouldn't matter too much. But yeah, we're just gonna calculate with the respective distance that each car told us that it drove. It's probably different because of different tire sizes and maybe different ways to calculate the travel distance or so. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's basically almost the same. On that far of a distance, it doesn't make that much of a difference. We just reached 80%. We're just gonna continue charging for 1 more percent, and it fell down to 2 amps or so. That's normal for Polestar. They always fall on their face at 80% for like a minute or so, and then ramp back up to 36-ish kilowatts, I think, when I remember correctly. And then we should be at 81 in maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But we want to have it comparable, so yeah. And actually this time it worked to stop charging at the limit. I don't know what the car did before, but okay. So let's see what we got here. Another 23.026 kilowatt hours. So let's calculate that onto our recently charged sessions. So the Polestar had a travel consumption, again with charging losses and everything, of 21.5. So a lot more energy for the same distance in the same car with the same driving style. Of course, we got larger wheels, and it's 350 kilograms heavier, I think. But yeah, quite a bit. So, but I kind of expected it. You see the car and you see that it isn't as aerodynamic. It's still a good consumption for that big of a car and our travel style. Definitely no problem there, but you just can't top the Model 3 long range. It's just crazy. Maybe you can top it with the Model 3 standard range, but that's just crazy good. But yeah, now we know. That's interesting. Let's put the charging cable back. So yeah. All right, we learned some stuff. That's interesting. Now let's go get some B-roll shots from both cars by going over some B-roads or so. The chargers actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, let's head out. I'm back in the Polestar. You can see the nice performance gold colored seat belts. Those are pretty nice. I like them a lot. Also the golden brakes are beautiful. But there's just some stuff that I don't like too much in this car.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, PCH, country limit. I don't need a guide, follow lights, take me where I wanna visit. Are you alive? Or just breathing? Flashing red lights, driving at night, windowless ride, feeling alive. Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah. I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are real.
Alright, all the recordings are done. And I hope you have seen them in all the shots before. And I want to close up the video with my closing final thoughts to both cars. You've seen my review for the Model 3 Highland already, hopefully. If not, then you can click up there somewhere and have a look for that. But I really do like both cars and they are a lot of fun. I just don't like the software of the Polestar too much. That's just my personal thing. It's still an awesome car and I would take it every day if I had to. But if I can choose, I personally would always go for the Tesla because it's just more my kind of style. Of course, I'm also used to it, so that speaks for it. But yeah, the Polestar drives great, but in comparison, the Highland has a bit of a more comfortable drivetrain or suspension, I would say. So with the facelift of the Model 3, I think all in all the package of the Model 3 is the better and the more comfortable one. The Polestar is more stable at high speeds, so if you're regularly driving 180 to 200 kilometers an hour, then the Polestar drives more safely and you can easily drive it with one hand and not with two, even though you should always have two hands on your steering wheel. The Tesla really needs a bit more input at high speeds to stay stable and comfortable, but nothing that would be too bad. Of course, the Polestar now is a bit faster than the Model 3 with like 7-8 kilometers an hour faster. Doesn't make that big of a difference, but sometimes that bit helps. I don't know. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all of my thoughts. Yeah, materials in the Polestar are great. Driving is great. Charging is not too bad, as we've seen. Also, the efficiency is, as we've seen, pretty okay for how the vehicle drives on the road and how it's made, and with all the aero benefits that the Model 3 has to the Polestar, the consumption isn't that much worse. And also my friend found out, as I said in the beginning, you should go watch her video first, the consumption at high speeds is even less of a difference. And also in a city, just the same. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for those cars. Thank you very much for watching and see you guys in the next one. Bye.